That's another thing I wanted to talk to you about is, so you see these success stories and then you also see the crash and burns, right? All
Mhm.
the time, I'm sure. How does that, I mean, you kind of already had the way you were going to go about it in your own life. And then how much influence do you get from just seeing other people's, portfolios basically?
Yeah. It's interesting. It's gotten to be less and less over time that we are getting involved in situations like that. And the reason for that is the larger your business grows, the more your current clientele understand who your target market is, if that makes sense. Like when 85% of your business is coming from personal referrals and introductions from current clients,
Mm-hmm.
like they start to understand there's not a lot we can do to help people that are a financial dumpster fire and don't want out of it, or are not even
Sure.
interested in somebody handing them a hose. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So
Yeah.
it's like it's been less and less and less over time of the amount of people that we interact with that are in that type of situation. Except for, I will say that aside from people receiving unexpected money, which is the number one reason we get referred to somebody, right? It's like,
Really?
my uncle's mom died and he's getting an inheritance and he has no experience investing. Can you help him? Like that's very, very common for us to get referred in a situation like that,
Mm-hmm.
which makes sense.
Yeah.
But other than that, the other reason we get referred to people is someone has, you know, slammed against the floor, financially speaking, right? They've hit rock bottom and they've
Mm-hmm.
decided, I am sick and tired of living my life this way and I need some help to get out of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that scenario is pretty common where it's like, here's all the mistakes I've made and why I'm never going to do them again. And please help me,
Yeah.
get out of this. So yeah, we see it frequently. We have so many families we work with who have come such a long way in their financial
Mm-hmm.
lives, and it is flat out inspiring when you just look at the numbers and you go, your net worth was negative 225,000 10 years ago, and today it's $500,000, right? It's a $750,000 swing
Right.
over a
Right.
decade, just based on doing nothing different other than making small incremental decisions over time and being disciplined. That's it, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. And I've heard time and time again, not only from individuals like yourself, but just friends that are trying to get into kind of your career path and your business. But time is so valuable when you're building
Mm-hmm.
wealth, right? If you could start investing early, and obviously that is it sounds at least like such a sales pitch of like, you got to invest early, invest now. But it really is, you know, there's been so many different examples of the guy that invested for 10 years into this, mutual fund when he was
Mm-hmm.
25 to 35 is already way ahead. And the guy that invests twice as much money when he's 45 or whatever is never going to be able to catch up. There's so much of that. Um, what do you think? Yeah. How would you describe that to people, right? That are maybe just trying to get in, just that value of time?
Well, the first thing to always talk about is that nobody has any success in their financial plan without doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Theory and talking and watching YouTube videos and listening to financial podcasts and reading online doesn't
Mm-hmm.
do anything, right?
Yeah.
Action
Yeah.
is what creates wealth over time, right? So,
Sure.
or like my
Sure.
favorite, like there's this Dave Ramsey rant one time, right? When someone was whining and complaining, called into a show and was talking about, well, like my portfolio, this and that, and the returns stink, and I want to fire my broker and all this other kind of stuff. And he just goes, stop.
Mm-hmm.
$0 invested in anything has a rate of return of zero.
Right.
Think about, and what he was encouraging the guy to think about was, don't get caught up in the wrong stuff. Head knowledge, data, and kind of past performance of stuff that you didn't own doesn't matter at all, right?
Right.
Your actions and what you do from this point moving forward makes 95% of the difference. And so when we're talking about time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Getting back to your question, there is no time to wait for anybody, right? The sooner
Mm-hmm.
you put the foot down on the gas pedal, the less hard you have to press it for the rest of your life, right? So if you get started when you're 22, 23, 24, graduated from college, open up your Roth IRA, you do all the kind of basic stuff that if you Google personal finance, what should I do in my 20s?
Sure.
Those things, yeah, if you do those things and start them early when you're in your 40s and in your 50s, if you're not already financially independent by that point, you're going to be in such an easygoing situation compared to the average person we get referred to who's in their early 50s and sweating and panicking and worried because they don't have that time left. And you can't make catastrophic mistakes in your 50s and 60s because you can't recover from them, right?
Sure.
So you have to start creating action immediately, regardless of age. And of course, the younger you are, the easier it is because, time value of money and law of large numbers and all the stuff that everybody's familiar with, but never does anything with. It's just like, whatever, living in a calorie deficit, right?
Sure.
It's like, we all know, like, if you lift weights and burn calories and do good cardio and live in a calorie deficit, guess what? You're going to lose some weight.
Right.
But how many people actually take action on that?
Sure.
It's not easy, but it's necessary.
If you enjoyed this content, be sure to check out the Standing Still podcast, both here on YouTube and wherever else you listen to podcasts.